Okay, so now we are going to talk about Espagnole sauce. So Espagnole sauce is really fancy brown gravy, and it's got a lot more flavor than like a brown gravy that you would find at a you know, over your pot roast or whatever, but in essence, that's what it is. So we have flour, equal parts flour and whole butter. We're gonna make a nice dark roux with that. Then I've got some bacon, which is our pancetta. And something I do a little different that's different from traditional is I'm actually gonna saute this bacon in with my roux towards the end, and that skips a step. That means I don't have to use several pans, which is very helpful, less dishes. Then we have this really nice beef stock that we made from local beef bones, and you can see it's like jello. Like, can you see the jello? And what's great about it is that that has got fantastic gelatin development. And the reason that matters so much is a sauce like this depends heavily on the gelatin development in a really good stock. So that's why we're using this today. Then I've got some tomato puree. And then I also have some onions and carrots for a little added flavor, bay leaf, thyme, and a little white wine. Again, the acidity in the white wine helps to glaze the pan, and it adds a lot of flavor. So that was what we have here. This is a pretty straightforward sauce. We're gonna take this and make a nice dark roux. So I have my butter and my flour combined, and it's starting to darken, which is good. If you don't make your roux dark enough, it will actually cause your sauce to not be dark enough. So the color is dependent on the roux being nice and dark as well. Now, in the kitchen, we cheat sometimes and use kitchen bouquet, which some people have heard of, but I don't like to use that if I don't have to, because it's like food coloring for savory things. So this here is gonna continue to cook. Making sure I stir it often. If you're making a nice dark roux and you don't have the time to babysit it on the stove like we're doing right here, you can do this in the oven. In fact, that's a pretty common technique when you're making large batches of roux. You can put your flour, your butter, stir it together really well, put it in the oven and just check on it every 10 minutes or so, and you can get a really, really rich dark roux without actually burning it. That's really, really good when you're making Creole and Cajun dishes that call for that really, really rich, like chocolatey dark roux. So that's what I'm doing here. Looks like we're almost ready. As soon as this is ready, I'm gonna throw in my stock, or actually, I lied. Now that it's almost dark enough, because the color is gonna continue to darken, I'm gonna throw in my pancetta. That eliminates a step for me, and a dish. Traditionally, you would render that off in another pan, but I don't want to do that because I work in a professional kitchen and we make a lot of dishes, and I don't want the extra dishes, so I'm just going to cook it right in there. Also, this is a sauce we strain, so it doesn't matter if you have little chunks in there, you're going to strain it out. Great, so we're going to cook this until it gets a little bit darker. I'll turn it down. And then we're going to throw in our beef stock and our other items. So the Espagnole sauce has been cooking and reducing, and I reduced it down by like half. As you can see, it has a really nice, rich, dark brown color, which is what you're looking for. I've skimmed off most of the scuzzy stuff off the top, which is great. And now I'm going to take this, I'm going to strain it. This is a very important part because you're going to catch all of those bits, the vegetables and everything we had in there. Pull that out. We're going to strain this through. Spoon here to help things along. At this point, if you want it to be thicker, you'd put it back on the fire to reduce it to the thickness you'd like. Or you'd cool it down and save it for another application. If you want to make demi-glace, you would take this sauce, add a nice equal parts nice rich brown brown stock like we had when we started, and then you reduce it again. And what that does, it doubles the gelatin in your sauce and also doubles your flavor. So you have this really nice, rich, fancy brown gravy like we talked about at the beginning of the video. So I'm gonna bring this over. Pardon my mess. And you can see it has just this gorgeous, luscious, smooth texture, coats the spoon, and that's what you're looking for. Espagnole sauce.